Oh no. Yikes. Okay. Well, we were starting this, and as we were starting, there is already an eye poke for one Benny Dariush. So, yikes. Anyway, we're glad to have you guys on back. My name is Rafa Sparza, your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster. Hope you guys are enjoying your evening. We are watching the main event of the UFC Fight Night, aka UFC Vegas 6, and Benny Dariush looks like he's still trying to figure out if his eyesight works, which is understandable considering, hey man, listen, we don't all get poked in the eye, but I think he's going to need that weapon as he looks like he wants to do some stand-up first. However, if you know anything about Benny Dariush, black belt, super good, going up against Hot Sauce Holtzman, who is going to be quite the opponent. So very stoked for this fight. Already you're seeing Holtzman start in for a split second. Herb Dean wanted to almost call for a halt of action, but we continue on. I think he just wanted to make sure it wasn't a low blow of any sort. And Dariush doing a very nice, oh no. Dariush now looking back over for a second unfortunate, eye poke here, potentially. Anyway, so here's some good news, guys. One, if you give us a like and a share on Facebook, we will give you a cheers on air. Additionally, unlike other times that we have done this broadcast, if you say something, I can implement it into the broadcast. So, for example, if you guys say something to us in the comment section on any of the channels watching, and right now it is going to be the Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Sorry, Twitch, had to give one up. You will see the comment appear on the broadcast. I'm super proud of this one. Been waiting to be able to do this for some time, but the only problem is we had to give up Twitch. So, womp, womp, womp. Anyway, feel free to test it by giving me a comment, but we would love it if you give us a like and a share on Facebook. If you do that, we will give you a toast like we do those who get finishes within regulation. Anyway, that's what we got going on right now. As you are seeing Benny Dariush working on a takedown over here, looking like he's helping him try to heist his thigh up. So that's been an interesting thing. Holtzman doing a really good defense here, especially for a noted black belt as well as Benny Dariush can be on this one. So anyway, that's the kind of news that we got for you guys. We're very stoked, very happy you are watching along with us. We got a long night of fights, so honestly, don't get too comfortable. This is going to be going on for a good amount this evening. I also want to tell you guys, we will be doing our best to try and keep an eye on all things Third Coast Grappling as well. Megan was doing us a solid by giving us the information. I will transition over to that, but I wanted to make sure that this broadcast was going on first and foremost because y'all fam, y'all the people who we take care of as best as possible. And more importantly, if my iPad doesn't charge, then I'm not able to watch it. So we need the iPad to charge pretty badly on that site. Anyway, we'll probably go back on the Instagram in a minute, but I want to thank you guys who are all watching along with us and having some fun this evening. We're going to make sure that we do it upright and give you guys the proper acknowledgement and love that y'all deserve. So anyway, that's what we got. Megan, I already see you in the section right now. Benny, coming in on Holtzman right now. Look at this with a vengeance. Holtzman really goes in for a takedown here, and Benny doing a solid job of sprawling. Has to turn around, see if he can get a nice, he's got a Kimura grip. Instead, he's going to stuff the head, see if he can grab that back leg and just slowly start to wane him down on this. What's up, Jeffrey Wakeling? Good to see you too. I have also gotten a beer to refuel for this evening because I'm very stoked about that. And this is not a place you want Benny Dariush on you. With him getting the back, it is very difficult. This guy has really good submissions from a number of different places. So just to give you guys the heads up on that one, no mas, no bueno. And looking how good Benny can look when he gets the back. I mean, for Holtzman to get out there, very solid. Good understanding of position and really understanding, man, you don't want to be in there for too long. So I've already seen a couple of you guys giving us a like, but like I said, a like and a share will get you guys a toast on air. So just to remember, we aren't going anywhere. We've got a lot of combat here this evening. And I like that as Benny was able to get Holtzman off of him, he capitalizes with a good overhand to go ahead and split the difference there. Super proud of him on that side. Benny has really come along as a fighter over the years. And watching his progress is nothing short of remarkable. So Super happy for this guy. Coming in tonight, he's looking like a pretty solid striker, all things considered, especially with somebody like Holtzman. Holtzman has a lot of good power to him, and he has clipped him a few times here in the first 5 minutes of this thus far in. And you're already starting to see Holtzman have a little bit of the Once Upon a Time in Mexico eyes that Johnny Depp once had in that movie. So thus far, thus good. And don't forget, if you guys have questions, comments, hints, concerns, allegations, all of that good stuff, hit me in the comment section. I'm more than happy to go ahead and take your notes and your comments. You guys make this show the beauty that it can be. So as we continue on, oh, fuck, he knocked him out. Wow. Benny Dariush with 5 straight now. Wow. Benny Dariush with aggression here tonight. And you're seeing Holtzman having to be helped up on the stool. Good for him, man. Benny has been putting it in and putting it in for a consistent amount of time. Could not be happier for that man. And that's impressive to see, especially when you see like somebody who is known for being so consistent with their jiu-jitsu, diversifying. What's up, Muhammad? Thank you very much for watching. I mean, just what a beast. So cool. All right, we're going to do some shares right now. Make sure you guys are all watching along with us and enjoying the evening's festivities. Sharing this on over on Verbal Tap. We'll probably share it a couple other places. It says, want the update for Kumite. Hold on, before I do that, I'm used to reading these, but now I can, boom, Megan Johnson, part of the broadcast. Yes, I would like the update for Kumite, please. If you would be so kind as to do that. Thank you. Look at that. See, before, the issue that we had on this was they would only allow you to go to 2 broadcast places. I prefer to go off of 4. I like having it on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and what's the other one? Facebook? Yeah, all of those. And now they've gotten it to where I can do it 3 places. I said 3's enough. I'll ditch Twitch because those guys are nerds anyway. Am I right? I'm just kidding. I don't really have anything against Twitch. And theoretically, I could still actually be going live on Twitch now that I think about it if I use something else. Not your problem, my problem. So what is the update we've got going on, Megan? Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what I should know. Because I'm going to go on Flow Grappling on mine, and I'm going to see what we have as new information as we're on the 170 Kumite 8-man tourney. And yeah, that's what we're looking at here, fam. As I now enter password and go. Anyway, yes, Savjan won by triangle submission. Very nice. Very nice so far. And I now see it on my beautiful iPad. And they're at some purple belts. So it looks like the next one up is going to be Roberto versus Hugo. Arlton was ahead on points, but was DQ for reaping. Jay advances. Thank you. And we're going to get some updates on Benny in a second. I think they're going to go over and interview him after he makes his way around. The 8th spinning back fist knockout in UFC history. And he is a winner by TKO at round 1 with just 22 seconds left to go. What an impressive thing. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate you. And again, we're going to remind people, a like and a share gives you a toast on air. On principle, Megan should get it. And I think you actually just shared it right now. So I'm double checking to make sure. I have to go through a very scientific process to make sure that you have liked and shared. Let me go about how that process is, which is I mainly press the button and it says, yes, Megan has already given us a like and a share, as has Dane, and as has Adam Wood. So I've got some toast to give out in a second, but I do want to hear what Benny has to say before I do a couple of these toasts. So thank you to those of you who are already giving us your patronage, your time, your appreciation, all of that good jazz. It means the world to us here at the Grappling Hour. I got to tell you, though, Megan, I don't know if you're feeling the same way I do, but I'm stoked for Canuto versus Johnny Tama. That's going to be fire. Then you got Ali Taza versus Ty Rutolo. Having both of the Rutolos in on this is insane. They could potentially go and beast their brackets and win. Benny Dariush says, hey, man, it's basically 50-50. I think that it's kind of interesting that Benny Dariush is even himself kind of being like, bro, I didn't expect that. What are you supposed to do? And Paul Felder is the one to break the news about the spinning back fist. And Benny's apologizing for missing weight yesterday. Okay, so let me see if I can kind of give you a summary of what I just heard. He's saying if that was performance worthy, give the money to Scott. In which I'm saying, bro, like, you know, like you can say give him some money, like take him out to a brunch. I'm sure that'd be great because you're feeling a little fat right now. Everybody is. And it's not your fault, Benny. Like at this point, we're all in Corona weight. Everybody knows that. I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I took a piss and missed Benny's KO. Oof. Sorry, bro. So Benny is in, you know, he's in much better mood now, but he's being a little hard on himself. And I just want to make sure that you guys can't see the Flow grappling as much as I like to give Flow shit. I'm not going to keep that on in the broadcast for you guys to see it. So hopefully you aren't able to see that. Yes, I'm very sorry, Adam. It would seem very unfortunate that you would take a piss and miss that. But here's the good news. ESPN will replay the shit out of that for the next few months. Can guarantee that, especially for somebody who has prospect ability like one Benny Dariush. All right, let's go ahead and give some cheers out right now. First and foremost, let's see who gave out the first one. I believe it was Dane. Dane was the first one to do it. Actually, before I do Dane, let me go ahead and give an acknowledgement over to Benny Dariush. Okay. This cheers goes out to Benny Dariush. Here's what I'm going to tell you, dude. Benny, it's nice that you want to give your money away, but can we just acknowledge that as the person who's gotten the 8th spinning knockout in the UFC, can we just agree that you get to keep your money? I'm all about it, man. Take him out to a lunch. Go do something else. Send him some flowers. Do whatever you want to do, bud, but save your money. You earned it. I get it. It's a weight cut time, but we're all in the middle of Corona and we're all doing the best we can. And you just gave us a motherfucking amazing knockout. So we'll take that. Also, come interview with me. Cheers to you. I like that. Look at that. Jorge coming in with the comment in the comment section over this way saying that was such a fantastic knockout. No kidding, my friend. Man. And it gives us hope as jiu-jitsu artists that we could be pretty good in our own right at striking. So I'm definitely going to go to my striking coach and tell him like, yo, give me that, whatever that is, make so that I can do that. Meanwhile, over on Third Coast Grappling, one of the kids over this way is in on a guillotine and it is intense. Yikes. Although they are essentially off the mats. What's up, Kevin Bradley? Good to see you as well. We are doing double duty here. We are making sure we are watching the UFC along with all things Third Coast Grappling. So we're not slouching in any way, shape, or form. We are keeping this party going all night long. I will be giving out toasts to everybody who gave a like and a share, and I want to make sure that you guys are all being serviced. And look at this. We're able to give out things. Look at that. Jorge Garcia, if you guys haven't seen Adam's interview with one George, a.k.a. Jorge, a.k.a. Beast Mode, you know what's really nice is that the whole time I've ever seen with George, like sending me notes, I will look at it and I'll be like, bro, I have to do all this meal prep. And he sends me such nice words about doing the meal prep that I go, that's nice, but I have to complain when I do it because it gets it out of my system because I want to eat the fat things. So anyway, go check out their interview if you have not done that yet. But not now, do it after. Like do it tomorrow. Just make a mental note, write something down, get a post-it note, or like one of these things. Oh, that's an actual sticker. I don't want to show that sticker. But get a Post-it note and remind yourself to go check out their interview tomorrow. Anyway, Third Coast Grappling is still going strong on that match. We got to get ready for our next match, which means I got to change the banner because we got Beneil, who just won this one. Next one, going to Yana Kunitskaya versus Julija or Julija Stoliarenko. And on that end, I would tell you guys, they are busy doing their part to remind you that next week you actually have to pay for a UFC. That's right. It's UFC 252. Is Daniel Cormier going to retire against Bespeckled Nerd one Stipe Miocic? Here's what I love about Stipe. Stipe is the guy who I'm actually rooting for on this one because I'm good on Daniel Cormier. Like, Stipe, I think, still has some fight left in him, and I would love to see him continue to go on, and I think he would at least give us a little bit more fight world, if you would. But next week, you've got Stipe versus DC, Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera, Junior Dos Santos versus Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Then you've got John Dodson and Merab Dvalin, and Magomed Ankalaev versus Iron Cute Lava. And DC is now going to be interviewed from home and is doing the old school punch at the camera, which is still weird, by the way. But that's what you got. Hopefully you guys should be able to hear me, though the sound might be a little shittier than normal. So if so, my apologies. I don't know what exactly is happening on my side, but give me a second. I'm going to see if I can unplug and replug back in my microphone. It is telling me. There we go. Okay. Anyway, that's what we're going to try and fix as you guys are watching this and getting excited for tonight's fights as we continue and we move on. Hopefully it's not some sort of dumb wiring issue, but it should be okay in just a second as we change back on over to well, here's where we're going. The audio is off on the stream. Yeah, I'm working on it, bud. You should hear me now. And it says Duke won in overtime by points. All right. while that's happening, I'm going to see if I can switch to backup microphone. Because guess what, folks? I do come somewhat prepared for these situations. Believe it or not. Backup microphone. Ha. What is up? Is that Davir? How do you say that name, my friend? Tell me. Let me know in the comment section so that I don't sound like a super dummy. Because I do occasionally sound dumb. It's not awful. All right, so now they're having Dominic Cruz talk to the camera. All right. My apologies, everybody. Hopefully this is coming in okay. I'm going to make sure if this is not. Yeah, I should be coming in okay on this one. That's so weird. Can't really tell you any heads or tails as to why it's not letting me put in my microphone, but I'm going to see if I can switch a possibility for a plugin. You said it worked with this? I don't think it was working with that. It actually was going somewhere else. That's weird. All right. Well, you just have to hear me from the shitty version for a little bit. Anyway, thank you very much, Megan. In case I wasn't able to say it, I appreciate you giving us the updates as I then do a comically hilarious version of trying to figure out how to fix my stream. Even though it says it's plugged in and it's working, what are you going to do? That's the good news about being adaptable. You can hear me right now. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate that. The audio is perfect now. That's so weird. Because right now I'm actually on the lower grade audio. I'm not even on like what I would consider good audio. So that's why it's supremely hilarious to me that it sounds normal. I guess I'm just going to have to deal with that because this audio is actually coming from the webcam of all places. Normally you do that and you get a little bit used to the pristine sound. So this one's not going to be as pretty today. But if you guys can hear me fine, deal. Done. Right now we're looking at Roberto taking the stand over at Third Coast Grappling. Very stoked for him. Let's see how this one's going to go. It's going to be Roberto versus, I believe, Johnny Tama. All right. Well, who do you guys have for this next match? Let's go ahead and do this. Going live is an art, science, my brother. Yeah, I mean, here's the weird part. The weird part about this is I'm a heavy perfectionist, but I've learned to just be like very more loose and go with the flow when it turns to these things because I go, I can't really fix it. It is what it is. Anyway, Johnny Tama coming out right now. And Johnny, seeing Roberto is going sans rash guard, decides to do the same. And this should be an interesting match. Oh, no. Who do you guys have in either of these two bouts? Do you have Roberto or Johnny Tama? And then I'll ask, who do you have in the current UFC fight that is happening, which is, let's put the banner up, ref, Yana versus Julija, which sounds like a Godzilla opponent at this point. All right. Both gents are now starting to circle over on Third Coast Grappling. And just to remind you guys, Third Coast Grappling has a really strange point system, which is that it is if you get to 11 points first, you win. Otherwise, it's a sub-only round. If nobody gets a sub, or I'm sorry, it's a sub-only round, then if you don't get a sub, it goes to 11 points. If nobody gets 11 points, then you go to an overtime round. So it's very confusing. These points are almost like suggestions, one might say. I'm also curious how much of the broadcast you can hear when I'm doing these. Anyway, today's drink of choice is one hazy for Harambe, aka Harambito, aka RIP, aka probably the reason why everything's gone to shit in the past year or so. So, very excited for that to drink throughout the evening. I did a cheers for Benny. I got to catch up on some cheers from those of you in the comment section and those of you watching along. So I will take care of you guys. I'm actually going to go next to Megan. I believe next you were in line. Megan, this cheers goes to you. First of all, thank you for your audio help. You're almost a sound engineer at this point, you and Adam. And then thank you for also making sure that we are being kept up to date on all things Third Coast Grappling. Even though I've got it live on my little laptop here or my iPad, we still appreciate you and all that you do. So cheers to you. Thank you very much. UFC should be coming back on live in just a moment for you guys. Hopefully you're not going too far. Yana, 8th ranked in the UFC with the pinkish purplish hair, and Julija, or Julija, if you would, coming from Espanol, is going to be joining her in this match. Very stoked for it. Still a 0-0 score for Roberto and Hugo. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't Johnny Tama. It's Hugo. Was that known? Did I just read that completely wrong? That's right, because Johnny, that's why I thought that one was weird. Okay. Took me a second, but I'm here with you guys. Johnny Tama was originally supposed to be in that, so it's Canuto versus Tama. That's right. Victor versus Hugo. So sorry. So foolish of me. I was about to say, I was like, when did Tama get tattoos? All right. Now as we do the balancing act and we go back to the UFC, we are stoked for this match. Hope you are as well. And let's continue on. Roberto looking very composed still. Hugo still trying to get him down. There's about the halfway point for those two gents. Although Hugo is on a single and Roberto just kind of clasps right next to him, gets in a single leg and gets the double actually, but Hugo is in on a not a rear naked choke. He is in on a guillotine over on his side. Meanwhile, we start off very quickly with this fight. Eek. This is going super fast for these two right now. You will have one. Yana is going to be the one that you are looking at in the black outfit, aka trunks and top, whereas one Julija is going to be in the black top and the green shorts. And right now you are seeing Julija getting the best of one Yana, and they exchange once again. So now the position is switched. You're seeing Yana start to push her up against the cage. It's very early on in this fight, so I feel like we're going to be doing this for a little bit. It's very interesting to see how this match is already starting to shape up. So I don't know who you guys have on this one, but I would love to hear you guys chime off in the comment section. Feel free to let us know. We're more than intrigued to hear who you guys may or may not have on this one. I think the betting favorite right now has to be Yana, but if you guys have any more insight or difference of opinion, I would love to hear it, as I think that is important to note as we get through this thing. And we are seeing right now, Roberto Jimenez has a takedown of 2 points over on this side, and now is working to pass through a series of aggressive maneuvers, almost slides his way to trying to get past Hugo here. Now is almost there. Hugo doing a great job on guard retention. Meanwhile, in the UFC, you are seeing still a very dominant amount of control by Yana, and Julija is doing a very solid job of just trying to almost like distance herself out, using a platform almost to keep her away. Solid fight thus far in. Yana is really composed here. This is very interesting. All right. We're going to do a solid. We're going to see if this thing can switch over on the microphone settings in just a second. So that way, if it is anything wrong with the microphone, I can And we are continuing on. Does not appear like it's going to register my microphone. That's so weird. I think it's going to tell me I have to sign in and sign out of it, which I can't do since I'm here. So this is the sound quality we get. And if you guys are cool with it, I'm cool with it. Now you're seeing Julija working on a guillotine choke by almost climbing on both her opponent and using the cage as an extra amount of ability to go ahead and crawl her way up. Roberto is at 7 points right now, which would normally be a really good advantage, but with 2 minutes left to go, he has to score 4 more points, where Juliana was looking for that same kind of knee bar, or I'm sorry, that calf crush setup that has proven so effectively almost a few weeks ago, giving us one of our very first instances of a nasty-ass knee bar. Meanwhile, the two of them stand up back over on the cage. You will see Yuna almost outmaneuver her and position her back up against the cage right now. Solid match thus far in. Meanwhile, Roberto shoots in for a double, doesn't get it. It's going to get stood back up. And now Hugo is now on the ground, but they may give him the points. We're going to have to see how it comes. And you see Roberto trying to extend a hand to bring him back on over to the center of the mat. Back on over on the UFC side. Now you're seeing Yana start to switch in some knees here, going back and forth between the two. It is looking pretty effective, though, because it is looking like Julia is not loving being in this position, especially with the difference on size. It looks like it is quite draining. Roberto in on almost a rear naked choke here. He might be finishing it. Hugo does tap, and Roberto Jimenez is going to advance at Third Coast Grappling. Kudos to him. Hugo is a beast, and he definitely got taken advantage of in that last couple seconds there. So that is really solid work from one Roberto Jimenez. We'll do a nice little toast to him in a second, and we're also going to have to do a toast to the folks who have been signaling out, sharing us, giving us some love all around. We did Dane, so we got Adam coming up in next. And we are at the end of the first round of action between those two in the UFC. All right, here we go. This cheers goes out to Adam Woods. Hey, Adam, I don't have a young Jamie, but right now, for all intents and purposes, you doing all the attention to the sound kind of puts you at young Jamie status, at least for this episode. So cheers to you, and thank you very much for all of your help on the audio problems. It appears that this is the sound quality I've got for this episode. I'm just glad this fucking works, though. If that had not allowed me to do any kind of audio, we would have had to kill this stream. And it wasn't like we didn't have sound for 25 minutes at the very beginning of tonight's telecast either. So it's been a pretty funny thing to see throughout the evening. Oof, good Lord. Let me go ahead and double check right now. As we're here, we are in between a break on Third Coast Grappling. They'll be back shortly. Meanwhile, y'all are doing a fantastic job watching along with us. We're looking out for your comments, your questions, your hints, and your concerns as we go. I got a note that asked, Raph, did you see Roberto's win? I did. It was savage. That kid's so good. It's annoying. Like, you ever see somebody who's too good that you go, sit down? Roberto's like getting to that level where I just want to be like, I almost am becoming not a fan at how good you are. Yes, that rear naked choke was super good. And honestly, considering how slippery those two are at that time and how crazy that sort of last minute, last 30 seconds, a minute could be, it's very easy that he could have lost control on that. But yet he was able to maintain it, finished him off. And he's going to advance. So kudos to him. And he could have potentially have just won by points there, but he didn't just let it go to that. Meanwhile, back on over on the action right now with Yana continuing to put the punishment on one Julija on that section over there. I mean, she is using the advantage of a body that is way more adept at just pushing someone up against the cage and keeping them there. It is it does not look like a fun task doing any kind of grappling with her right now. So, eek. Anyway, as she looks not lost, just very like, man, I don't want to be here. It says right here, that was awesome. I'm going for Yana on UFC. Then you are looking real good right now because Yana has been just consistently aggressive, patient, and you see Julija just, it looks like she was almost about to trip her for a split second over there. It's like she's both supporting her standing up and almost not allowing her to be taken down at the same measure. Julia almost likes being in this place because she wants to try and reach back for that leg. Regards pretty nicely, all things considered, and Yana just starts kicking right there. Got a pile on Yana. I don't know what that means. Does that mean money? Is that something on you being like you got a crush on her? Or something grosser than that variation? But yes, Yana has been merciless from this position here. And if anything, it's just the weight that she's having to carry. For Julia is just, she doesn't look like she wants to be here. And Yana very nicely, whenever she goes back and forth, oh, yes, I bet, yes. Okay, listen, I don't know what you kids and your slang means all the time. So, you know, when you kids say something weird and you'll be like, I got a load on Yana, I'd be like, that sounds gross. Don't like that. Anyway, I'm just playing with you. Over on this side, it does look like we're advanced onto the next round. And on this one, it is Cade Rotolo versus Victor Oliveira. And Cade is in the rash guard, and Vitor is in the just rash guardless gear, one could say. But yes, Trent, very glad. Haven't been called a kid in a while. Thanks. Hey, listen, I just assume I'm older than everybody. And if I'm not physically older, I just act older. So it's a compliment, you know? Glad you're watching along with us. As a reminder, if you guys give us a like and a share, we will give you a toast on air. And I believe we are caught up on the toast thus far in. So I'm always looking for opportunities to cheers those who are being so kind and giving us their time on these broadcasts. You guys make these a fun expenditure, a fun excursion. You know we love it. And I just saw Trent. He gave us a like. All you have to do is give us a share, and I'm going to go and give you a toast. Oof. Julia is, I mean, she's in it, man. She's trying to regard in a very solid way here. And I appreciate her ability and reserve to go into that automatic jiu-jitsu mode to just try and, like, get there. But Yana is, that's, ooh, going for that armbar again. No. Yana, no, you got 37 seconds. That's a lot of time here. Keep your arm together. Yep. Get the knee under the butt. Let's do our mechanics because she is stuck against that cage. Let's be calm and composed. We've seen far too many arm bars from guard, and frankly, it's too much. One arm bar from guard is already too much. Several, no, not on my watch. Yep, you're about out here. We just got to, yes. Keep the arm. Don't let her sweep you. 6 seconds. Don't let her. Yes, nicely done, Yana. Look at that. And they make it to the end of the second round. That was not too close for my comfort, but we didn't need any part of that. I've seen like 3 arm bars from guard in the past few UFCs, and I got to tell you, too much. Unnecessary. What are you going to do? You're going to make it like arm bars from guard look like they're a real thing? Everybody knows they're fake. Everybody knows that. They're whack. We don't need it. Last thing I'm going to get is somebody telling me that when we do our warm-ups of armbar from guard that they actually work. And we all know that they don't. So that's what I got for you guys. All right. Meanwhile, back on the third coast, no points, 3:53 left to go in that match. And you are seeing a Rotolo trying to work on the leg of one Vitor. And the hardest part, I mean, the Rotolos are interesting. We've seen them start to play a little bit more with the leg locks and whatnot, but they're still in progress, I think is the nicest way of saying it. I don't think their leg locks are still 100% there. So watching them start to develop that is good. I just don't know how much of a threat it is. Y'all would be welcome to tell me differently. That's perfectly fine, but that is where we're at right now. He is in trying to isolate the leg of one Vitor, and he's trying to come in underneath them, going on the inversion. And we're already at round 3 of this Yana versus Julija match. And again, it is right back, same as it ever was, watching a terribly difficult task of, I wasn't expecting this. Where did these come from? Oh, well, our thanks to producer, wife, Kelly, who just came through with tacos. Look at this. Who gets tacos? I do. Thanks. Those are pretty good. Okay. Not important to you guys, but it is important to me. So now that she's got her in guard, as we've seen before, not exactly the place you really want to be with somebody who's really consistently been putting it on you. But on the other side, Julija has been pretty solid in terms of setting up some sneaky submissions from here. So there's a lot of time at play here. And as you see, she's already trying to raise that leg up, almost going to that rubber guard. She's very flexible. That's a solid start, at least, to a rubber guard, even if it's not perfect looking, because it's mostly just trying to contain her movement so that she doesn't get punched a whole bunch in the meantime. And that's why we love my wife. We didn't even talk about what food we were getting. She just figured I wouldn't say no to tacos. And that. Fun story. This thing seems to keep crashing. Is my Yeti back on? Okay, so my Yeti's back on. My camera has gone to low quality. The inbuilt one. What the fuck? Wow. This has been a true surprise of technology this evening, my friends. So thank you for being patient and working along with me as we watch this. I think I should be back to normal now. Should sound and look as normal. Thank God. Megan Johnson says, yeah, for tacos. So thank you, Megan. My wife will appreciate that. We're getting a thumbs up over on this side. Control time is 11:44 for one Yana, and that seems like it is a modestly, significantly conservative figure for 11:40. I feel like she's had control since 2018 of this fight. So 20 seconds. Vitor is actually ahead 4-0, but on Third Coast Grappling, not going to matter because they're just going to get rid of the points, and they're going to go to overtime. However, Cade is really trying his best to instigate something. Nothing doing. Oof. Yana wants to get a finish here. Yana's a beast, man. Look at her. She's literally just said this entire fight, you are not going to get any offense off. Like, I'm going to make sure that you just are exhausted to the point where you won't want to fight again for another month. Last 40 seconds on their fight. Meanwhile, Cade and Vitor are going to go to overtime. Oof. Even looking at form from one Julija, just her body language, it just looks so exhausted. And Yana looks like she could do this for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Super clean. It's a solid strategy. It's not the most exciting thing to watch in the world, but such respect for her ability to maintain that control for so long. Even when she lets her into the fight, her timing is just so much more precise. She broke a clinch with her, got a pop off, and Julija, hey, you know what? Yana is showing the first signs of fatigue. as she goes over to the fence and just takes a seat. Could have fooled me. Oh, this is beautiful. Well, here's the good news, Trent. You're going to make a pile on that fight. Which begs the question, shouldn't you give us some shares on this? Shouldn't you give us some appreciation? Because I feel like we did a lot on that. And by we, I mean the royal we. All of us watching. I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching this right now is like 10% responsible for your big win tonight. Either way, kudos to you. Very proud of you, sir. Man, I feel like you're gonna walk away with some money, but more so some real dignity from being the most right. Join in as we watch UFC Vegas 6 and Third Coast Grappling. All right, we are just about to get the announcement that Yana won by like a landslide of points. Did he just say Oakley Dokley? No, thank you. $30.26 and $30.27s. Well, let's see if they end up giving her some post-chat love right now. Because they're already starting to show backstage your next fight, which is going to be Maki Pitolo. Meanwhile, speaking of Pitolo, looking at Rotolo down there, still 0-0 in overtime right now. As you're seeing, Vitor try to pass Rotolo again, trying to isolate the leg, seeing if maybe he can go in for a knee bar here. Nothing doing. But Darren Stewart starting to warm up. That's going to be coming up as one of your next fights. It's a good time to remind you guys, give us a like and a share on Facebook. We will give you a toast. All right, let's see who we've got chiming in right now. I'm getting notes all over the place. Hello, Adam Woods. Good to see you back. Sure. It's a lot of food. I know. I could do this. I love this. Look at this. Trent Davidson giving us – oh, man. All right. Here's what I'm going to say. Trent Davidson, this cheers goes out to you. First of all, a lot of people won't call you a kid, but I think they're just wrong not to. Look at you, man. Youthful looks, ability to continue on a conversation. Dude, you're beasting this life right now. Right now, if you were to put any of those information on like one of those dating app sites, you'd already be like shacked up like 3 times. So cheers to you, sir. Preach. So much love and appreciation for your like and share. And we're happy you pulled through. Thanks so much, shared. Like Darren. Jeffrey. So that means you like Darren in this fight? Like Darren is a very purposeful statement. Like Darren. Could be like Mike. Could be like a number of things. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here on the banner side. Oh, I forgot. I can actually talk to you guys on this. Oh, this is way more fun. Let me know who you got. Darren or the dentist. A weird nickname, by the way. Darren or Maki. Check this out. To win. Thank you. I figured. Just took me a second. So we're going to put this one in right now. Look at this. Look at how classy this precision is now. In there, you see me talking to you guys. I actually said some words. Let me know who you got, Darren or Maki. Professional. Bing. So super stoked that you guys are watching along. This has been a blast thus far in. I'm really feeling the way that this thing can implement new technology, and I can actually do some more fun things. I guess it's kind of worth it to give up Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. We normally love you, but you being a bitch right now. Cade Rotolo and Vitor are down to the last 30 seconds, in which it's going to end up being a referee's decision, which I would assume they'd give it to Rotolo, not because I'm very vastly up on how this match went, but more so just because, politics. That's a good way to say it. I like this. Coconut bombs is one according to Woods with what he puts there. I do appreciate this, though. According to Woods, you're watching on your YouTube, and I like that it brands you out. Like, this is the smartest way to, like, I should just go on other people's channels who do this sort of thing and have them be like, oh, Grappling Hour says, and I'm just going to be like, Mondays, 8 p.m., watch me. Dig that. The dentist coming with that PPO dental plan. Man. Dane. I don't want to acknowledge that joke. I almost don't want to give you it. Was I right? Kate Rotolo won. That was based off of nothing other than he was probably trying for that knee bar and trying to submit him. Did he really win? Sure. Why not? Oof. Good Lord. All right, here's the big question. My wife brought me the end of her burger, but I also have tacos. I think we're going to go with the burger for right now. So it's not that much burger. And this was the right choice. The burger is really good. Babe, that burger is really good. Damn. Yeah, I'm glad I'm making that choice. No, that's perfect because it'll allow me to figure out if I'm going to have the rest of these tacos or if I want to save them. All the food is very good. I would say who they are, but they're not sponsors. So all right. What's coming up next over on Third Coast Grappling? If we just saw Cade Rotolo versus Vitor Oliveira, that means next we're going to see Canuto versus Johnny Tama. Man, Canuto is one of the most exciting people in the world to watch. He's also super terrible to roll with because he's so good, and I'm not. So anytime you get the opportunity, go to Vegas, go to Venom Training Center, go train with him. I mean, between him and Roberto Jimenez, Vegas is a pretty big hotspot going on right now. Maki Pitolo is coming in right now. That photo of him does not look like he's 29. That looks like they've aged him years on that photo. These people are the same age, and just based off that photo, you would not be able to tell. Otherwise, tail of the tape slightly gives the advantage to the dentist. That's what we got going on. I like hearing you guys give your predictions. I love doing it. We're going to switch on over, give on over the banner so that we can say who is actually fighting in this one. And I can take a quick little bite of this burger, which is so good. Damn. The ultimate decision, tacos or burgers. Sometimes I don't even know. And this is speaking as a brown guy. So, we're hearing that you guys feel the dentist right now. I'm intrigued that. I also see Maki's like very focused here, looks good. Let's see how this one plays out, gents and ladies. As we make sure we share this on all major platforms. Again, give us a like and a share. We will give you a toast on air. As we get down right now, I mean, the dentist looks real solid right now. He looks like he's in great shape. All right, Tama, Rotolo out of the way, but now you've got Tama and one Canuto. Let's do it. Canuto's braids looks fly AF. And right now, in the red, you've got Stewart. In the black trunks, you've got Pitolo. Let me see. Grappling Hour should commentate on According to Woods videos more. Yeah, I got to tell you, man. I should. I should also do other things other than do this. It's very difficult because half the time when I do see you're putting up one, I'm either in the process of getting one ready or doing another one. So it's very funny. Like there have been times when you and I both are doing a broadcast and I was like, don't watch him, watch me. But I will definitely commentate more for you, bud. Didn't Josh Neer go by the dentist Neer? He did, absolutely. I always say you can't have two of the same people. When you had Cowboy Oliveira and Cowboy Cerrone, I said, too many. On Third Coast Grappling, you're seeing Canuto start to work to take the back. He is close in on Thomas' neck, and he does look like he's got a good rear naked choke here. I think he's going to be able to finish this. God damn, Canuto. He's not finished yet, but he's in a good position. I need to see another camera angle here. Back on the UFC. Good exchanges between both of these gents. The dentist looking like he is coming in with a mission, taking him straight over to the edge of the octagon and keeping him very busy there. What's up, Tarzan? Thank you very much for watching along. Give us a like and a share. We will give you a toast on air, as we have done with everybody who has given us a like and a share thus far and on the broadcast and has hopefully been enjoying this. Nice return by Maki, though. Maki not giving any fucks right now. Man, credit to Johnny Tama. He is fighting his way out of this rear naked choke, but Hanato Canuto is keeping this control on him. Very pleased to see the transition work there. He's able to go ahead and get his guard back. You're going to see Canuto up 2-0. We'll let him stand back up so that you can try and stand and bang with him there. Speaking of standing and bang, Pitolo and Stewart. Very interesting differentium on striking here. You're seeing Stewart be very aggressive thus far in. Damn. Even when he's under duress, you're seeing Stewart very, very angry in his punching. The only weird part is I'm trying to minimize the amount of foil you are hearing on this broadcast. Nice try for the spinning back shit, because we're throwing spinning back shit now. Oh shit, that taco was really good too. I like the takedown attempt here by Pitolo. For a split second, it looked like Stewart was thinking about doing an elbow. This is a really solid elbow guillotine. Referee coming over just to double check. He is out. Or he's not out, but at least he is tapped. Yeah. Wow. The dentist has a shirt to show us. An unfortunate death. Man. Pitolo, I mean, hey, man. That's a tough place to be. I don't know exactly who he is showing on that, but I imagine we will hear him in a few minutes talking about who that match could have been dedicated to. Obviously, a lot of emotions flying high there, but good for him, man. That high elbow guillotine is one of the hardest ones to pull off, man. It's so clean, and people hate when they have to tap to that. Canuto lost his 2 points? Boom. Yeah. So he switches the grip on that one too. Nicely done. That grip switch is everything, dude. Good for him. Woo. Well, is he going to be allowed to wear that shirt? It's not Reebok. Do you have to get that cleared? Do they care? Normally they have a little bit more resistance. Oof. All right, we'll see the replay on that one in just a second. But meantime, we're going to give you guys a little bit of idea of what's happening over here. Johnny Tama has a front headlock on Canuto. Wow, submission of the night. So here's the thing. Yes, submission of the night. The problem is they don't give out submission of the night anymore. They just give out 2 performances for individuals and then, fight of the night. But in our hearts, it's submission of the night because, nothing looked that sweet. Like, we've had one other submission this evening, and that was the Gavin Tucker, Justin James one. and that was good. I think I have a preference on that last one, though, if you're asking me. Just saying. Don't worry, though, Dan. We've all made that same thing. Anytime we do a over-under Kevin segment, we have to remind people, like, all right, give us 2 performances of the night. And they're like, well, submission of the night is. We're like, not what we said. All right. Official decision, performance of the night. I think it's got to be up there so far. It's always hard whenever they have the big names, though, because the big names they always want to give it to. But, hey, man, we'll see what he has to say when he gets over to the corner, though. I have a feeling, though, it's about to get soups emotion filled. Meanwhile, Third Coast Grappling. Canuto. Tama. Still 0-0. Thomas sweeps in. Wow. Canuto's movement, man. It's like a really controlled panther, dude. Like every time I see him move, I'm just so jealous. I wish I could move like that. All right. We're about to see in a second here. Stoliarenko says it was a beautiful finish. Absolutely. That sub. Stewart by sub was 1950. Jesus. All right. Let's give a summary of what he has to say. It's Dariush Shepard is his name. Yeah, poor guy, man. So now they're going to have him walk through the finish. So let's hear what he has to say on it. I want to hear about the grip switch if he's going to talk about that. He says he's doing that takedown defense for that single leg a ton. Mm-hmm. Well, that's funny. He's like, you might not feel like you're doing it, but eventually they'll tap out. Felder's asking if he wants to stay in Vegas and get another fight. He says he is good to go. It just depends on what he gets, because it's 3 weeks fight. And he's talking about, hey, man, it's a bit mad to go and try and cut weight in this goddamn heat. I see what it is, Dane. For a split second, I went to go share that, and I can't share GIFs, so my apologies. But yes, Leo DiCaprio giving some claps. Great move, Jeffrey. Man. Oh, God. That's pretty funny. I love Darren Stewart saying he's still looking like a snack. There's a lot of ways I could imagine you're going to end an interview, but having both the interviewer and interviewee talk about looking like a snack, not high on the list. So a little surprised by that. This is crazy, though. Good for these guys. We've had one fight between these guys every year for the past 2 years, back in July 7th, 2018. And now they're going to finish their trilogy in August of the 15th. And it's a 25-foot octagon. In case you haven't heard that headline a few times, that's what's happening now. And Stipe is the undisputed heavyweight champ as the current moment goes. Meanwhile, Canuto and Tama still happening And they're now talking, I guess this is a pre-tape with Daniel Cormier. And he says he feels good. He says he feels tired, though, because he's been training really hard. So I guess the question is, who do you guys have? Do you have DC or do you have Stipe? Let's see how this goes. And DC's making a decent enough argument by saying, listen, if you look at overall fight time, I have outclassed him. I just feel like Stipe, he did get caught. It was a little bit of a fluke, and we'll see what happens. But, man, props to DC, but I want to see Stipe knock the shit out of DC out. That's my personal hope. So we have put this out to you guys right now. Who do you have, DC? DC going out on top? Nah, I don't want that. Because then we're going to hear about that all the fucking time. Oh, my God. That's all he's going to talk about on the broadcasts. On the other side, I don't want to hear John Jones talk about DC like that anymore. So, I mean, I just like DC as a person. I don't need him to win. Plus, like, DC has not wanted to fight after he turned 40. So to me, I'm like, he basically got brought into a different trilogy fight that he wasn't thinking about. DC is out the door after this fight. Let him get his last night out on the town. Nah. You know why? The UFC is going to take care of him forever. I don't get the feeling they're going to take care of Stipe in the same way. DC hasn't made with all these commentary gigs. Nah. Plus, DC has beaten some beasts. Like, his resume doesn't need it for his legacy. I think Stipe having this, especially as he starts to get on the downslope, I think is a good marker. Now they're saying, do you believe it'll be the final walk, DC? And he's like, I believe it will, because y'all pay me too much to commentate. Stipe needs to put some respect on Dana's name. Dude, anytime somebody gives Dana shit, I just immediately laugh. Especially somebody like, hey, listen, this dude's a fireman. He doesn't give a shit about Dana's politics. And him making the fight on his terms, cool. We have a winner now over on Third Coast Grappling. You do have Canuto, and Johnny Tama is nowhere to be found. And I think you just saw Canuto give double guns over to the side, but I see a point over on this side. I just don't see. Oh, Tama's sitting down. I think they're talking about a point differentiation between the two. Are they going to reduce that point? Are you serious? It was the second set of points that they're taking away from Canuto. Wow. I think they're waiting to see who won. And they're trying to make the announcement. Yikes. All right, we'll give you an update on that in just a second. Third Coast Grappling is bringing both gentlemen over here. Oh, we're playing out the last 28 seconds. Ridiculous. All right. Canuto trying to give us something fun to look at, and both these guys probably trying to make their arguments. Canuto went on for a single leg X, now trying to attack the leg. Now you're seeing a switch on over by Johnny Tama trying to attack the leg. They reset them. There's 9 seconds left to go on that match. Very stoked for this one. And coming up next, man, this is going to be a tough one. Not just to watch, but just tough one in general. Like, Chris Weidman is at the co-main event slot of this fight. But I don't know how many people are still in that place of like, man, oh, is Chris Weidman fighting tonight? Is kind of the mentality that I can surmise from this. Now we should have a result for Third Coast Grappling. Yep, we got a Canuto advancing, so that'll be fun to watch. All right, let's go ahead and put that one away. I'll ask you guys because I feel it's the polite thing to do, but I have a feeling where most of you are going to go on this one. Ugh, it's so sad. Even typing this out makes me like bummed. Boom. That's my question to you. Akhmedov or Weidman? Or depending on if you're hyper Swedish, Weidman. Here's some good news, though. The Third Coast Grappling commentary team has finally decided to take off their goddamn glasses. Because that has annoyed me so much. Wearing their sunglasses indoors has been so stupid. Tough one, I know, dude. Weidman needs to open up a business or a gym or something other than fighting. I don't know, man. It's hard to tell a fighter to quit and to go do something else because that's usually their bag. It's what they know. I think Weidman would probably be a dope fucking wrestling coach. If Weidman showed up in a wrestling room, I'd be like, duh, that's awesome. I don't know. That's it's a worthy notice here. I can see Weidman opening up a smoothie shop. Chris is so funny to me because when he was getting the come up with beating Anderson Silva, he just sounded like such a bro. It was just kind of like, yeah, man, you know, like sometimes I just get out there and I just punch, you know? And I really love getting out there and fighting. And I just kind of laughed a whole bunch. Now when I see him out here, I go, I don't want to make fun of him as much. Yeah, that's tough because you do see this with Akhmedov, and all you could think of is, yeah, are you just supposed to beat him? Is he just being brought in as a stepping stone for you? Because I don't feel great about that, dude. But that's the way the whole thing goes, you know? And I got to say, at least it's a little bit better than the other version of it, which is we used to famously say, you either die or live long enough to headline Fight Past Prelims. So he's not quite Fight Past Prelims, but might as well be because it's a weird situation with COVID where we just need stars to show up and be co-mains on ridiculous cards. Join the team now before it's too late, CW. And this is still my boy. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see what tonight has in store for Chris. It'd be hard to see him go out, though, you know? Like, if he wins, him being like, then I'm good. Thanks, guys. It's been a blast. For whatever reason, I think a lot of fighters don't know their best timing sometimes, so we'll see. We'll see how tonight plays out. Meanwhile, Third Coast Grappling presses on. Let's see who they've got coming out right now. So with that coming out, they should have Ali Taza and Ty Rotolo, which should be very fascinating to see. So these Rotolo twins, they're too much, man. His dad did him dirty that night. I know. What are you supposed to do? Like, I would imagine my dad would probably say some shit that I'd be like, oh, no, dude. Like, So I sympathize with it. Oosh, but as we cruise our way into the co-mains. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the festivities this evening. I'm glad you guys have been sticking around. I hope you're having fun. I'm having a blast. I am truly enjoying myself with all of these shenanigans. And again, if you have questions, comments, and concerns, all of that sort of jazz, feel free to hit us in the comment section. I think we'll go back on Instagram for these fights, just so we can maximize our return here. Here we go. Boom. All right. Coming back over on the Instagram for these last couple fights, so that way we make sure we cover just about everybody. All right. I do like that you covered it by saying, Dane, that is your boy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Your good friend, Rafa Esparza. We are watching the last couple fights here on the UFC telecast. It is UFC Vegas 6. Chris Weidman has already made the walk, but they've kind of blocked it out for whatever reason. I like that over here, Megan is staying true. She says, I'm going to go with the underdog, Weidman. I have no idea. Okay. I'm going to say that for after. Thank you. It's very nice to get a nod of approval from my wife that goes, you put a good hurt on these tacos and burger, babe. So I feel like I've done good job here this evening. Yep, thumbs up from her too. A+. Boom. She was coming over to bring me some mac and cheese, and she's like, looks at me, and she sees that I've already eaten all the rest of the food. She's like, I see you've played this game before. Anyway, they've already made their walk to the cage. Here we're going with Megan. Thank you so much for taking Weidman. Somebody's got it. I forget that Weidman's also 2 years younger than me. So whenever they're like, Weidman's old, I was like, I'm old. Yikes. But I also don't fight. So as evidenced by this taco being shoved in my mouth. All right. He is the favorite, though. Vegas odds put him as the favorite, which is an interesting proposition here. And, that is kind of nice when people remind people watching, this guy was a former champ. Never takes that away from you. Ali Taza now doing a solid regarding against a very game Ty Rotolo, who just looks like he's melting into every one of these positions possible. I hate the fact that people get called Wolverine even though they're tall. Wolverine is 5'3". If you're 5'3", that's fine. I'm calling it right now. If Chris Weidman loses, he will hang it up. Maybe. I don't disagree with you a ton here. But what happens if he wins? You would hope that you were saying he needs to kind of go out on a win as well. You'd like to see something good happen for him. I don't know. I always get nervous whenever they win and they're like, I'm thinking about quitting, but I won. I could do this for a few more years. Akhmedov is starting to come in very aggressive to one Chris Weidman. What's up, Kurji? Glad to see you. Hope you're watching the fights. If so, join us. Enjoy yourself. You got a great night of fights still left in front of us. Chris Weidman pushing up the Wolverine against the cage right now. Wolverine pushes him off pretty easily. It's interesting to see how these two are matched up. Akhmedov trying to fend off the single leg. Chris gets it. Doesn't finish, but he has a good ability to finish from here. He just has to be very cautious with how he finishes it. bending that knee down, brings it in between the legs. You're going to see Akhmedov kind of sidestep it. Enjoy your meal. Thank you. I am. You know, I multitask here. You just can't eat. If you got people watching, you got to make sure you're playing like a champ. Good approach by everybody here thus far in. Oof. 3 minutes left to go. You see both of these gentlemen not giving too much in thus far in. Akhmedov just trying to hunt him down, goes with an overhand, doesn't connect. Now Chris returns back over to the center. Now is going to try and do the reverse to him. Looks over, sees if he can maybe push him up against the cage, gets him with a kick, has nothing really to it. Akhmedov kind of catches it, but then lets it go. Weidman connects. Ooh, but so does Akhmedov. And Akhmedov comes in for a shot. Weidman reads it very nicely, starts to try and drag him down. Now you're seeing a 2-on-1 response by Akhmedov. Trunk color here, as a reminder, is going to be Akhmedov in the black and Weidman in the silverish white color over on this side. The both of them kind of depart from one another. Now they start to come back together. Nice stick jab by one Akhmedov. Weidman, beautiful trip. Now he's going to be working to pass the guard that's open from Akhmedov. Slowly but surely. This is really solid play from Chris. This is where he used to excel so well. Now starting to subvert the legs, moving through, almost for a split-second weaves. Akhmedov looking to get to his feet here. Gets to one knee and one leg up. Weidman continues on. Now you're seeing Akhmedov go for a Kimura. Doesn't quite have it full all the way in. Now you're seeing Weidman switch the legs. Almost went to almost a little bit of a double, but he's just a little too tripoded up to have that full grip. So now he's just using his leverage of his body to signal him down, slowing the pace here. 1:16 left in this round. You are seeing Akhmedov slowly getting a couple punches here. Nothing too crazy, but enough that is concerning. It says over here, CW just looks so far removed from years ago. I mean, don't we all? I look far removed from February if you ask a number of people. Look at my hair. I'm saying I could use a barber. I have like 3 different competing haircuts going on right now. That's what I'm telling people. I'm like, I think people are going to look at the photos from us in this age, passing almost effortlessly. Now he doesn't want to put himself back into that half guard. But I've told people, I'm like, I think we'll look back at photos from this era and say, like, what happened to you guys at this time? And be like, don't talk about it. Saw a lot of things, man. A lot of things. Man, that's how bad things happen to good people. Weidman's going to come ahead on round 1 thus far in. We're going to pretty much be assured to go to a next one. What's up, Susan? Round 2 is going to look pretty solid, though. Great round for CW. Indeed. He is looking real sharp thus far in. Akhmedov starting to bleed a little bit in the nose. And we cut to a commercial for just a little bit. Meanwhile, over on the Third Coast Grappling, we are seeing Oliver and Ty still continuing to go on as they are in overtime at this moment. So heads up to everybody. That's what's happening over there. So Weidman takes the very first round by my account and the account of a number of other people who are watching at this moment. Let's go ahead and see what else people are saying at this current juncture. I'm going to go ahead and give a few more shares just to make sure that people are joining along with us. Hopefully they're enjoying the festivities, the fights, all of that jazz, and much more, one might say. All right. We've shared it to a number of different places. Let me know what you guys have question-wise for us. We're going to go ahead and keep this thing moving. Ray Longo, God. It is always fantastic to see him. Rolongo says he is out of captivity. Good for him. Weidman coming in with a couple kicks. Very wrestling heavy from I'm not reading Ben Askren. He sucks. Oof. Akhmedov now coming in the aggressor in the second round. Gets a takedown on Chris. Chris going to butterflies on both of these. And Akhmedov not trying to allow him any opportunity to get swept on out. Starts to crawl a little bit over to the side. Tries to handcuff him. Now he's going to have the ability to start taking the back over here. Instead, he's starting to pummel him. Chris is kind of getting up. Now you see Akhmedov on a single leg of his own. Chris trying to attack the head here. Now they break apart. Very nice beginning statement from Akhmedov. Good response. Weidman switches his stance, trying to throw off Akhmedov, and it does look like it does ever so slightly confuse him as he trips up as Chris lets go of a single leg between the two of them. Chris gets a good jab in. Now you're starting to see Akhmedov go to the body. I do wonder if that's taking a little bit of energy out of him. You are seeing him stagger just a little bit more. Akhmedov goes in for a shot. Chris essentially stuffs it. Chris now returns for a shot of his own. Now Akhmedov had a front headlock. Chris 2-on-1s it and gets out. Returns back over to the center of the octagon. It's a very interesting matchup for these two. Megan, I forgot. I didn't get to see who won that one. So if you're watching and you saw who won, just let me know. Feel free. Give me some intel on that one. As you were seeing Chris Weidman push up Akhmedov against the cage. Akhmedov trying to get some elbows in here as Chris is double over, looking over for that single leg. Has part of it. Looks to try and put it between the legs. Isn't quite finishing it off there. Chris is angling, almost there. He's going to lift him up and doesn't quite get the extension on it. Now grabs the back of the head. The two of them circle again, and you are seeing Akhmedov throw wildly. Connects with the next one that he throws. Now he's starting to get a little bit more on Chris Weidman's there. I see over here by Megan. Thank you very much for watching and for letting us know. Ty won by points in overtime. Yikes. Okay, good to know. So we do have both Ritolos who advance along with one Hanato Canuto and Roberto Jimenez. Roberto, I believe, is the only one with the submission on this one thus far in, if I'm not mistaken. It says here by Dane, Chris Weidman is tired. I would agree. I mean, Akhmedov is also doing a better job of hiding how tired he is, but he is putting it there. Weidman looking in for that sweep, which, by the way, gives me nightmares whenever I see an MMA guy do it, because in jiu-jitsu, it's always nice and fine and you're just okay. But when you do it in MMA and people can punch you, that little sweep, that little half guard seep is a little risky. So now they're starting to talk about how tired Chris is looking, and that is unfortunate. To the body by one Akhmedov. Akhmedov was signaling like he wanted to go in for a shot, gives it up midway through. And you are seeing Weidman's movement becoming slightly ever so predictable. He has his hands up, but he is not quite throwing with the same urgency that he was in that first round. Connects with a nice little jab there, switches his stance, hands are a little down, telegraphing that he wants to go and give something up. He's trying with some axe kicks from there, but he's going to let Akhmedov let him get up. Now Akhmedov back in for a single leg. He's almost able to put it underneath. He does run the pipe, makes the little adjustment that he needs to that gets Weidman on his back. And Weidman is, we're talking about looking tired. Getting up from this position is no joke, let alone when you are exhausted. Weidman trying to just kick like a drunk person who doesn't want to go to bed. And Akhmedov lets him back up, almost turns his back on him as he gets back up between the two of them and connects a couple more times for good measure. If we were looking at how this fight is being scored thus far in, it is going to be 1-1 in my opinion. But more importantly, momentum is going to be an important aspect. Says Dane Donovan, wow, these boys are putting that work in. They definitely are. But additionally, it's okay. Additionally, it is slightly nerve-wracking. I'm just saying, look at that fight. Look at that last 30 seconds in that second round and tell me you haven't tried to put someone to bed who's trying to like kick you like, no. And you go, Jesus Christ, dude. Okay, like, I don't have time to play games. You're either going to bed or not. Go to bed, CW. You could tell for years I did not drink. So I was that friend who had to put people down and be like, shut up, you're going to bed. Ben Folks tweets, the will is still there, but Weidman is not the same athlete he once was. Well, yeah, he's older, dude. That's what happens when you get old. This is between Lucas A and Josh W. It's very interesting to see one of the gents working with wrestling shoes on the Third Coast Grappling. It always takes an adjustment here. Weidman going in for the single leg. You have to imagine that all of the folks over on his corner, who are not quiet people, by the way, if you've ever been to one of these fights, they are yelling, I'm sure, at Chris that he needs to win this one. Live in play fighting after round 2, Weidman plus 200, Akhmedov negative 280. Now, Weidman's starting to attack the back here, but even that is a little, if we're being honest on how it looks, Jesus Christ, everybody. This is an odd, compelling match. And if you guys are watching on Facebook, we remind you, if you give us a like and a share, we will give you guys a cheers or a toast on air. But right now, hey, there is a hook, and it's kind of that non-traditional set of hooks. It just might not be the right one. And Weidman is now trying to go in for a banana split, and you are seeing him try to get this. Man. Yeah, it's essentially a splayed, but I like that Akhmedov is grabbing his own leg to get the leverage out of it. That's how you can tell you've got somebody who's a little used to the wrestling and using it as an opportunity to try and elbow and punch him from there. That is something that when I do to other people, I wish I could punch and do that to them in return, but Jesus Christ. Weidman now, hey, this is his moneymaker. He has already submitted, I believe it was Kelvin Gastelum with this head and arm choke. So this is the right time that he would need this position. And you are seeing him slowly slither his way into there. But Akhmedov does get out of it. Now we're going to have to see what Akhmedov's mount escapes really look like here. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it. All right, 3 minutes left to go here. This one's going to be tough. What is up, Marcelo? Thank you so much for watching along. You are seeing him try to set up, and by him, I mean Chris Weidman, trying to set up this head and arm choke, taking his time, and for a split second, Akhmedov almost giving his back, but trying to get to that like side where he can maybe start trapping one of the legs here. Weidman very solid and almost just laying on top of him and putting in some of these strikes that are looking not bad, all things considered. You know, if we weren't convinced that we needed to see Chris Weidman call it a day, I would love to see him, if he does get the win here and continues to keep this position, get the win, walk off into the sunset, because this is not a person that you're going to see have that much impact in any of the UFC division to such a great degree. 2 minutes left to go. Akhmedov eating a couple elbows here. Oh, beautiful flattening by Weidman. And you see Akhmedov go right back over to the center. Oof. Yeah, it's so weird on the Third Coast Grappling seeing a dude with wrestling shoes, no rash guard, playing guard. Like that does, my brain is all fried by looking at that, or having to attack from guard. Chris Weidman still trying to get this head and arm choke. It is the favorite choke of the podcast, but I just don't know if he's got the energy to go ahead and finish it off. And speaking of good takedown and good takedown defense, you see over on this side, Josh W. has a very solid ability to get these takedowns and initiate them. What's up, S. Fanyada? Great to see you. Hope you're enjoying tonight's fights. If so, you are potentially seeing Chris Weidman try to get a good head and arm choke here, just being a solid rock. Ugh. This is hard too. When somebody has transitioned all of their weight over to one side, when your elbow is compromised, it is very difficult to get it back. The only difference that usually helps you a little bit is if your chest is over it as well. Because once that chest is over it with it being compromised past a certain return, I don't care how strong you are, it is very difficult to get that positioning back. It does look like Chris Weidman is going to win. And it did not look like that was a possibility in that second round when he looked almost exhausted, but he's doing just enough that he needs. What's up, BJJ Igor? Chris Weidman is so old, he's actually still stuck in back mount. Like, they were done for 30 seconds, and he was just there, and he's like, I would love to get out of this, but I'm too tired, bro. How do you judge that fight? I see it being round 1, possibly Weidman. Round 2, Akhmedov. Round 3. Round 3 going on over to Weidman as well. Yeah, round 2 is a little, or round 1 is a little tricky. Let me go ahead and say this. Alex Cervantes, it says, show it. Fucking perv. I'm not going to show it. Gross. I don't know, man. I think he did enough. I feel good enough to say that Weidman won that one. The real trick is just like, because he looks so sloppy on that second one, what do you do? But, you know, judges be judges. So it's going to be hard to really tell you with any great certainty that that's how it's going to go. Oh, man, I can't wait for this fucking Tuesday. My good friend Brady Wang is going to be fighting on that one. That dude is a beast. So proud. So much love for that guy. Really looking forward to seeing him fight on Dana White's Contender Series. And I think we'll do something for that one. Yeah, it checks out. Man, he's tired, and I don't know that he wants to do a post-fight interview. I think he's in a place where he's just like, bro, I made it, and I'm tired AF, man. Man, Chris, I hope you call it, bro. Good for him indeed, Dane. He had to fight for that third round, man. That one did not come easy to him, and I feel all the amount of sympathy in the world for a guy who's in many accounts been counted out, but that third round really was a deal maker for it. Let's see what he has to say. Felder's asking, how important was this win? He says he's not happy with that performance, but he is happy to get his hand raised. Felder's giving credit to his grappling. Says he was hunting for the submissions. He said the game plan was get to his legs and then get to his submissions on the ground. Oof, Paul Felder, no. Oh no! Dane, look what you did. Now he's telling us he's back and that win's a win and that he's ready to take on those top 5 guys. This is your fault. 100% your fault. I don't know, man. Hey, if he wants to stick around, great. He has nothing left to prove in my eyes. But people are going to do what they're going to do, man. He's not somebody I need to see fight a whole bunch. And I just feel like he's kind of done it. And if he wants to do that, then that's what he's got to do. I am excited, though, for Munoz versus Edgar. I think Munoz has had a lot of momentum going with him, and Edgar is always fun to watch. So very excited for that one. It's like this Batman CW. No, he's not back. No more. I don't mind him continuing to fight, but like, yo, dude, you look super tired tonight. And I worry, man. That's why this game is a drug, my friends. It's a real thing. I should put this in the American Medical Association as an addiction. Fight life is no joke, my friends. Eesh, indeed. Alfred, get the Christoph. That's the stupidest comment. All right, Black Beast coming up next. That's so stupid. Well, this is a weird match. Not just for title shot. Shut up. I'm not doing title shot with you. I just like the idea that he's telling us he's back, like he's John Wick or some shit. A lot of people have been asking me, are you back? And you know what? I think I am. That one's for all of you. This is what happens when you stick around long enough. I will do impressions. At a certain point, if I've drank enough, I will start doing just random ass impressions for y'all. Give him that title shot, Uncle Dana. Y'all are fucking rude. No. Answer my question. Derek Lewis or Oleksiy Olenek? Tell me in the comment section. I would love to hear who you guys have going forward on this one. Megan, I hope Third Coast Grappling is good. It just froze on me, so I'm going to have to go back to this. Log in. There we go. All right. They're done with that match. Props to that wrestler, though, dude. Anytime I see somebody with wrestling shoes in like a jiu-jitsu setting, it's really weird. The same thing almost happens with the singlets when people are wearing the singlets in competition. But oddly, the singlets kind of make sense because all of our guys wear wacky shit to begin with. So like that I can get along with. But the minute somebody puts on wrestling shoes and they're doing grappling, my brain just melts. And I'm like, what? Olenek fixing to go to the body and take the fight to the ground. Absolutely he is, dude. I see this. Lewis, because his balls get hot. Thank you, Doreen. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. That's the whole thing is like Derek Lewis is very funny, though. I've enjoyed the shit out of that guy. And it does look like we are still waiting on Third Coast Grappling to continue coming back. So it looks like they're in the process of a stall moment. And they brought out some random ass like Walmart version of Luke Thomas to come out there and do analysis for them. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It told me that my mic unplugged, but it looks like it is back up. So good. I'm glad we're still there. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that's who you guys have thus far in. If you guys give us a like and a share, we will be sure to give you guys a toast on air. We are keeping things going. I'm sorry. Is Derek Lewis able to do pull-ups and I'm not? I didn't feel bad about my life until I saw that. I knocked him out because he likes to put his hands on women. Derek Lewis. Listen. Derek Lewis is definitely the hero we deserved at some point. had a, you always want Derek Lewis to win because of the post-fight speech. That's the thing that that will always be magic. The one concern I do have about him winning is now I don't know without a crowd if he plays up to that as much as he normally is used to. So it looks like right now we're at, is this Christian Guzman versus Ricky Peoples? Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3 matches before we get over to the semis, and then we'll have 3 matches for submissions on the Third Coast Grappling. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, Third Coast Grappling is going to be going on for a while. We'll see how long I stay for this. Maybe I'll take a break and just do the last portion of Third Coast Grappling. Yeah. Anytime a dude comes up to you and hugs you, like, it looks like it's a suicide mission when he just comes up and like, hug, Noki Ezekiel, drop down. Bro, he knocks Travis Brown out and shouts out to Ronda Rousey. The man is out of control. That's true. Yeah. I mean, he's a colorful character, man. He's been somebody that we were entertained to watch. But yeah, I was curious. I was like, dude, without an audience, is he still going to play it up as much as he can? These are very muted affairs now without the audience. So it is interesting to see how that one will play out. Oof, my God. This Third Coast Grappling is going to go on for a while, huh? Yeah, like I said, maybe I'll just do one giant recap toward the very end, take a break or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in. Because I am having fun, so I am enjoying this. But it is hard whenever you've got to cover all these other people throughout the evening. However, this is looking pretty good. Nice series of sweeps back and forth between these two gents. And right now, you will see, if you're watching this, if you were watching this over on Third Coast Grappling, you are seeing on top right now, Christian G take out Ricky P. Some good jiu-jitsu back control over right now. Switches back over to the mount effortlessly. Very nice, man. If Travis Brown is watching this fight, I know who he wants to win. I mean, that's true. What song is Oleski Olenek walking out to? It sounds like he's listening to some sort of weird Russian propaganda. Like, I didn't know that's how they get down. Like, that's their version of like a spoken word album is just pain is suffering. You're fine. Do not die. Kill opponent. Death is happiness. That's so ridiculous. Oosh. What's up, Jorge, aka George, aka what's up, fam? Good to see you back joining us for the last portions of these fights. Give us a like and a share, and we will give you a toast, as we will remind everybody every so often, because it is very important that you guys remember that. And as a nice little reminder, if you guys get the opportunity to go shop, go get yourself some. That's a good one. Cage Potato said, oof, Chris Weidman shooting in for a shot is me trying to greet dogs when I'm super drunk. It's pretty funny. Ooh, this is a nice triangle, though, that's happening. It looks like Christian G is in on a triangle, and Ricky G is having to make some adjustments. Christian G, though, oof, he might be in on this. He's pulling the head right now. He just needs to maybe pull down. Nice cup underneath the legs. He might be able to transition to an armbar here on Third Coast Grappling. This is not where you want to be. Yeah, he's going to start attacking this arm very soon. And you are seeing Ricky P start to give up the position. Now just letting him come up on top. He just needs to recalibrate and pull the head and just maybe pull down on the legs just a little bit more. He is fighting a fucking tough fight through this. Now you're seeing Christian G start to attack the arm a little bit more. That's a solid match. Good for them. Olenek making his way in to the octagon, as we will have to wait for just a second for Derek Lewis. And they're doing a weird thing with the scorecard tonight. That graphic that they have for the scoreboard is like a weird color. Like it looks like it's almost fading like a ghost into the backdrop of it all. I like this. Let's see. 92% finish rate. Megan Johnson says, I'm going to go with Derek. He's quite the character. You are not messing around. 46 first-round finishes. Yeah, dude, he's got places to be. After you have 20 fights, you better fucking get on out, dude. Oh, good for him. Does he have a song called My Balls Is Hot Now? Okay. I see you. I mean, he definitely is unlike any other heavyweight. And meanwhile, Christian G over on the Third Coast Grappling, still working on this arm. Just for a split second, maybe gave up a little bit of how that triangle was formed. And he's going to need to repost here. But Ricky P getting out. Nice job here. Gets the other arm in. And now Christian G has to go to a more traditional guard. And he is exhausted with 2:30 left to go in their match. And I see over here, according to Woods, was saying Olenek by sub. I mean, Derek looks like not bad in shape for him right now. It is very funny. The little keyboards at the beginning of that kind of made it sound like he had Money Cash Hose as the beginning of his walkout song, which, by the way, not a bad song. Because, you know, if you really just lay it out to what you're trying to do in this life, money, cash, hose. That's it. One of Jay-Z's better moments, one would say. DL looks good, man. Yeah, he does, man. This is one of the better. I mean, maybe that's why he was wearing the polos to train. Just for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why the fuck is this dude wearing a polo in his pre-walkout bullshit. Whenever they do all those videos, that's when you think, like, yo, get me in my sponsored gear. And he's like coming in with this fucking Clifford the Red Sweater bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? If I'm a sponsor, I'm pissed, being like, take off your fucking alligator polo, you dick. I don't want you wearing polo right now. Brand my shit is what I would say. Again, not a sponsor, though, so a little different. We're about to get the tail of the tape coming in right now. Olenek, 43. Derek Lewis, 35. 6'3", 6'2". 227 for Olenek and 265 for Derek Lewis. How does that make sense? There is almost 40 pounds between these two guys. Yesterday, 40 pounds yesterday. Who knows what it is today? Although I think Derek Lewis is probably still hovering around that weight, if I'm being so honest. What's up, Crush Crew JJ? What's up, JCI? Crush Crew sounds like a really good street battle crew name. Glad you guys are joining us. Hope you're enjoying tonight's UFC action. My name is Rafa Esparza, host of Grappling Hour and Verbal Tap. We're all chilling. We're all watching this fight. We're all stoked because it is Derek Lewis and one Amari. No, that's not Amari. We've already done that fight. We got to fucking switch the labeling. Good job, dummy. And Oleski Olenek. And here we go. Comments. That means he's walking around 280-ish. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, still has 40 pounds on him. I mean, look at the two of them. He is number 10 ranked, which is almost difficult to believe at 43. But, hey, man, power to him. I mean, I remember a certain time when Randy Couture was the champion at 40-plus years old. So, stranger things have happened. What's up, David? Thank you for watching along with us here at the Grappling Hour. Derek Lewis about to take center stage right now. They're doing the introductions. We're about to get way into this fight. Let's see how it goes, fam. Herb Dean says, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, and here we go. All right, clusterfuck. Let's see it happen. -210, dude. What a fucking wacky world. Main event time, UFC Vegas 6. Boom. All right, well, they're coming out swinging, so we might not be here for long. Yep. Oleinik is already trying for the Ezekiel. Derek is just putting his body. Now, Derek, to his credit, is at least positioning his underhook in a way that does not allow him to have that overhand, underhand portion of the Ezekiel. Now you're seeing right now Oleinik sneak in, trying to pummel underneath, pushing him ever so slightly. It's almost like a very polite version of, hey, could you move, please? And now Derek is unloading as he's in turtle, and he's going to go ahead and roll onto his side. Now you're going to see that desperation maneuvering from one Oleinik here, who is slowly but surely getting over to his side. He has an underhook. This is promising, but you still have a big dude who likes to swing very aggressively and hard. So it's very difficult to understand what's going to happen here. Nice jiu-jitsu mechanics. I think he understands, hey, man, I need to get behind you. And if that's going to happen, I wanted to try and see if I could get your leg, maybe for a knee bar, for an arm bar, anything that you could fucking get there. What's up, Leah? But if you're looking at this fight right now, it is it's a little dangerous of a place to be underneath Derek Lewis, if we're being honest. Yeah, this is not where I want to be, friends. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love playing single leg X. That's my jam. But it's a big dude to have on top of you. It's dangerous to have him consistently in that realm. All right, back on Third Coast Grappling. It looks like they're going to have a gi match, which is dope. We'll give you some updates on that. But for right now, we'll maintain our comments on the current position of affairs for Oleinik versus Lewis. And Oleinik is starting to do some good regard work, gets back up. Lewis very much powerful with his overhook, and Oleinik does get a takedown here. Now this is where things get dicey. If Oleinik gets over to a mount, this is not really good. Oleinik is kind of coming in with a little bit of a cradle to try and offset a little bit of Derek Lewis's natural strength. Now going into a non-traditional moment for most jiu-jitsu practitioners, but Derek Lewis actually isn't in the worst place. Like, he's already on his side, and normally if you are completely on your back here, this is a very bad place to be with people who are very in control of judo side control. That judo side control, almost like Josh Barnett kind of 1,000 kilos here, but Derek Lewis actually showed he was pretty apt to that position, and now is teeing off more on the back here, looking like someone just pressed a button that said smash on a PlayStation somewhere. Now you're seeing a very solid job by Oleinik going back on over to guard, using his butterfly hooks to try and get back up. He's almost there and uses it to almost effortlessly and very nicely trip him down and starts to pass. Now let's see if he goes back to that judo control. And yes, he is going to be there. There's a headlock that's putting tons of pressure. Derek Lewis is looking very uncomfortable here, and you were seeing him just try to break almost with a crank here. Now he's going to have Derek Lewis's arms to go ahead and try and make things uncomfortable. I'm very concerned about Derek Lewis's comfortability here, because if he continues to signal him down all the way through, Derek's uncomfortability with the back of his neck getting a lot of pressure being put on it could be enough of an uncomfortable position here that most people in different situations would tap to. So now he's just going to continue putting that pressure on, and Derek is just going to have to weather it out. But if you are unused to this position, this could feel really bad. And more importantly, leave you with a set of, I don't want to continue being in this place. That where that forearm is where it starts to create a whole bunch of torque on the back of the neck, so that it really becomes this crank that you really don't want to be a part of. It's not unused to a hybridization of one judo or a catch wrestling sort of aspect here. And now if he's able to go in and use a little bit of a grip, you are seeing Derek kind of slip out ever so slightly, though. So that's the thing I want to go ahead and compliment Derek Lewis's defense on that. You recognize that was a terrible place to be in. What's up, the Matt 74? And to his credit now, you're seeing Olenek try to leave him with a parting gift over here, which is to attack the arm. On this one, you want to see Derek Lewis bend the elbow back towards him and his body. Solid work. This is a little bit better of a Derek Lewis submission defense than I've seen in some time. What's up, Maria? Oof. That was a rough first round for Derek. He was doing pretty well. It's just those positions for Olenek are what keep him not only comfortable, but to the point where he's not going to have any problems keeping that position for a long period of time. And if the intent isn't to get the submission there, it's the fact that he can keep him in a bad position for a long enough time where he's exhausted. And Olenek is cornered, like he's already lying on the ground. I think he's exhausted. Oh, no. Interesting. Yeah, apparently you can lay down and it helps to get your blood circulation a little bit higher and quicker. Unusual, but hey, man, smoke him if you got him. All right, round two. Here we go. Derek Lewis, ooh, clips him. Now he's caught Olenek by surprise, but Olenek is still trying to finish on this single leg over here and is just absorbing shots after shots, and the ref may come in as you're seeing his head bounce up and down, and he does get the finish as Olenek was valiantly trying to get that single leg there. Just you can't absorb that many shots from that position. Oof. I mean, Olenek looks like he's okay. The physician's checking on him. So that's good. That's refreshing. Ugh. Man. I mean, the jump knee was a good setup to a powerful right hand. When he doesn't hit it there, Olnek's arms are down, which allow him to just be hit with good reason there. So now he's tied. This is Derek Lewis that we're talking about, tied with Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos. Yep, fourth rank heavyweight contender. If you're him, you're watching this DC Stipe thing play out in front of you. You were watching with vested interest because if those guys are on their way out, you could easily find your way back in there. Oof. Dane Donovan saying it for all of us. Dude. I don't feel great after watching. That's a lot to take in, my friends. Yikes. Oh, man. Well, Derek Lewis, hey, man, proven he can get it done, especially with a game submission competitor. A lot of people are good at submissions, but you punch them a few times, that really doesn't matter anymore. So, hey, shit happens, dude. That was pretty dope, though. Super stoked to see that happen and pull off for them. So let me get this straight. So Third Coast Grappling is currently at oof, that's so fucking late. So they just did that one. Is this Jordan and Roberto? 9:30, which means we have how many more to go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 more matches, which they'll probably stem out into about an hour and a half, which means it's like 1 a.m. by the time they finish over there. Blah. All right, so they've announced Derek is the winner, which means we are due a post speech. So we'll see how that one goes. Alone at the top of the UFC division with most UFC knockouts and heavyweight. Yep, most knockouts in UFC heavyweight history. Good for him, man. I like the fella saying, he was like, I actually felt a little nervous for him in that second round. Yikes, everybody. Well, I'm trying to refresh my thing over here. What's up, Blanca? Did you see that ridiculously amazing knockout? Eek. Just watching how Derek Lewis was able to catch that without any issues was super impressive. Dude! Yeah, that seems to be the common reaction from everybody right now. It's just everybody yelling out, dude! That dude has nukes in his hands. Yeah, I don't want it anywhere around any part of me. That's why I think we're all very happy that he seems like a friendly ghost. He was almost submitted. Hey, yeah, they'll probably ask him about that right now. Weird. Feller just asked, hey, before you clear your bowels out, can you talk to me? Derek said he couldn't breathe at all in that submission. And they're basically putting him on a 7-second delay because he's cursing. So now I'm asking, what does it feel like to have that record? Says it feels good. Especially knowing that he's not where he knows he needs to be at. He says he needs to get down about another 15, 20 pounds. He says 3 in a row for him, correcting Paul Felder. Felder's asking, when can we see you back? He says, hopefully December. He says he's going to focus on getting his weight down. See kids, his family. He's got 19 wins by knockout, BT Dubs. Lewis looking less flabby. I mean, for sure, dude. He looks in good shape, but he's saying he needs to get down another 15, 20 pounds, and I understand. And he says, props to that, and shout out to everybody out in Houston. Blanca says he doesn't even look tired. I mean, all things considered, we've seen him look really out of breath. And he is ready to call it a night. Good for him. Oof. What a crazy fucking I just, as I'm watching him do his thing, it says, is he allowed to be giving a shout out to sponsors like that? It's probably dicey. I think you get to a certain point where, what are you going to do? Like, trying to censor Derek Lewis is unnecessary. I would hope that they would let me. I would just do it anyway. I'd just sneak it in. That's my thing. All right. Well, this one's tough. All right. So Third Coast Grappling is still going on. They're in the middle of overtime. They've got about 7 minutes there. Dane Donovan says, I think Lewis might be in trouble. Maybe. I also think it's kind of hard when you have him headlining and to tell him he's in trouble because they needed him tonight pretty badly. Maybe more than he needed to show up and perform. Just saying. Just because we've seen him enough where I'm sure he's trying to solidify his next steps in the UFC to maybe make a return run for the belt. But, if we didn't see him tonight, would we not put him in that conversation anyway? Because some of these guys fighting on these cards for what we would call Corona times, like some of these guys need it desperately, and they need to get in there. They need to be fighting because they either need to get their debut in or they need to make a name for themselves. This is one of those cases where I think, like, if Derek Lewis didn't show up tonight, nobody would have batted an eye. They would have been like, when are you ready to fight whoever we've got in front of you? Post-pandemic, quote unquote. So I don't think he's super worried about that. Matt, what did you think of that? Did you see that fucking fight? Were you as impressed as we were by it? Because Jesus. Speaking of shout out to sponsors, I'll do one too. Hey, if you guys are going to go buy some new gear, we encourage you to go see nogibjjgear.com. Find yourself some bigger sizes because we're all getting fat right now. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for me. And maybe if it applies to you, then cross apply as you need. But what I'm saying is go to nogibjjgear, buy yourself something nice there. Use the promotional code GRAPPLINGHOUR15. Take 15% off whatever you put in the cart. In the meantime, I'm probably going to call it. I may come back and do like a little roundup for the last couple matches for the Third Coast Grappling. Maybe I'll just do those on Instagram. We'll see what mood I'm in. But I think you guys came for the main event of this UFC here, so we'll have to figure out what the mood is at, and I'll check in on the wife, and I think that's going to be it for right now, you guys. Y'all been a blast. This has been a fun evening. Be sure to check us out later this week. We're going to return on Tuesday with a special grappling hour, I believe at 1 p.m. That'll be a fun one. And then we're also going to be recording our next episode of Verbal Tap this Tuesday, I believe, maybe Monday or Tuesday. Says the Matt, didn't catch it. I appreciate the play-by-play. Well, the Matt, I appreciate you. We all appreciate somebody, so I'm glad that we were able to help you guys on out. But yeah, it's pretty savage. If you check out ESPN probably in the next 20 minutes or so, I think they'll have it up. And why am I holding this microphone? Don't know. Not plugged in, so it doesn't really do anything. I guess what I'm saying to you guys is this. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to watch us throughout the week. If you're not following us, follow us at Grappling Hour on all major platforms. That's all I've got for you guys. My name is Rafa Esparza. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you guys back on the mats.